kick off with a story where President William Ruto has called on the international community to mobilize and direct resources towards addressing impediments to sustainable development goals. The president said ailing global capital with sustainable development goals was crucial for climate-positive growth. He noted that many countries, especially in Africa, have been unable to implement due to hindrances such as debt inflation, climate shocks, and conflicts.
I call to order Leaders Dialogue 3 of the High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development, convened under the auspices of the General Assembly, the SDGs Summit, on game changers, applying science, technology, innovation, and data for transformative action. I am delighted to join this dialogue, a critical platform for us to reflect on the fundamental mechanics of transformation and resurgence. Kenya is one of the 6 countries which took part in the global pilot program implemented by the Global Alliance to Science Support, Technology, Innovation, and Data for SDG roadmaps. We have been implementing a national economic transformation blueprint to transform Kenya into a newly industrialized middle-income country. Along the way, fundamental changes emerged, which unleashed new opportunities, disruptive threats, and complex risks, forcing us to reimagine our development paradigm. We have adopted a bottom-up economic transformation agenda which puts job creation at its core with agriculture, affordable housing, universal health coverage, manufacturing, MSMEs, the digital economy, and climate-positive growth as sectoral pillars of our implementation. This has unleashed the entrepreneurial spirit of our youth and positioned Kenya as a global digital technology hub known as Africa's Silicon Savannah. Concert Technopolis, the flagship of this ambition, is ready to host a thriving community of science, technology, and innovation visionaries seeking to disrupt and transform every sector of our economy. The M-Pesa revolution, the Kenyan innovation emerging from our digital ecosystem, has transformed financial inclusion, fintech, and many startups into viable entities. Despite these gains, data indicates that many countries are not making progress in the implementation of SDGs. The combination of multiple crises, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, extreme weather events, conflicts, and inflation, has disrupted economies, leading to food and energy insecurity and impacting health and the cost of living. Africa is particularly impacted despite its vast economic potential, which includes abundant natural resources like mineral wealth, 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land, 40% of the world's untapped renewable energy potential, carbon sinks, and a youthful population comprising millions of highly skilled and motivated youth. The Nairobi Declaration, the consensus document of the Africa Climate Summit recently concluded in Kenya, prescribed a set of transformative recommendations to align global capital with sustainable development and climate action. The reason capital is not available to unlock Africa's colossal potential is that development financing has been inadequate, inaccessible, and costly, denying countries the fiscal space to pursue development and climate action. The reform of the international architecture of global development financing should therefore be at the forefront of the global development and climate action agenda. The scope of transformation envisaged in our bold consensus is nothing short of complete reimagination of the international financial system. The recognition of STI and data as key action areas in the implementation of SDGs implies an urgent need for structural change to propel the world into a new era of climate-positive growth and inclusive prosperity. From generating data and models to support carbon pricing and natural asset valuation to disaster early warning, response, recovery, and resilience, as well as developing efficient and effective citizen-centric public service delivery systems through automation and digitization, STI and data hold great promise for optimizing our resources and enhancing sustainability. I fully support the established international values and principles governing the maximization of direct and indirect benefits of STI and data while minimizing the risk of harm. These principles should guide the ethical management of risks and benefits. The time has come for the international community to mobilize adequate resources for common global finance mechanisms accessible to all, serving the global public good and unlocking the necessary private capital for research and development. For Africa in particular, such investment is urgently needed for evidence-based sustainable development and climate-positive growth.
Slovenia is particularly committed to its operation in Latin America and the Caribbean with a special focus on artificial intelligence. Slovenia hosts an international research center in artificial intelligence which operates under the auspices of UNESCO. The center, together with its partners, is developing open access AI solutions applicable to the SDGs. Its water observatory is a commitment to the UN Water Action Agenda. The same goes for the Slovenian Center of Excellence for Space Sciences and Technologies. Space SI is working with satellite data and digital models of ecosystems to build resilience against climate change. I'm happy to say that later this year, Space SI will be joining the global initiative Twinning of Rivers, led by Ganga, Center of Ganga River Basin Management and Studies. The goal is to extend at least 22 twinning programs for sharing knowledge and satellite technologies. This multi-state collaboration aims at transboundary source to sea streams in Europe, Asia, Africa, North and South America and the Caribbean. At this time, AI has a critical gender problem. Nearly all virtual assistants, think of Siri and Alexa, have female voices. This year we are witnessing a boom of AI chatbots, such as ChatGPT. These algorithms feed on online input, and this includes expressions of sexism and racism. Created predominantly by men, artificial intelligence contains gender biases that may be self-perpetuating if they remain unaddressed. Thus, I would like to conclude with a call for a quick and decisive proactive policies for including more women in the entire artificial intelligence life cycle. And for my final remark, the more that I follow artificial intelligence, being, from the background of the information commissioners of European Union and following data protection, I am pretty sure that all the countries around the globe should start thinking about how to use artificial intelligence to fight disinformation and misinformation. This is something which is endangering our democracies, and no private entity is going to do it because it's not worth it. So the countries around the globe should be unified and use AI, despite the fact that AI can bring pluses and minuses, for our all benefit. And I will pass this idea also to the General Secretary, Antonio Guterres, and I hope that it will become more visible one day for the benefit of all of us.